The Braves did something yesterday that I thought was executed perfectly. I love what Brian Snitker did, sitting Ronald Acuna Jr. That's what you have to do. And it frustrates me to see because the Phillies management has a completely different mindset. Now, Ronald Acuna Jr. ended up pimping a hit. He thought it was going to be a home run. He pimped it. He held it out. He watched it as he took a couple steps down the first base line, and he admired it. But the problem was it didn't go out. It hit the top of the wall, so he didn't get as far as he should have on the base paths because he wasn't hustling. Keep in mind, this is a big-time series. The Braves are playing the Dodgers. That's a big-time NL matchup. That could potentially be a matchup you see in the playoffs. Like, this was a big-time game. And Brian Snitker wasn't having it. Now, I have his post-game interview here, and I would love for you to listen to it.
Can you take us through what happened with Acuna pulling him from the game?
Yeah, he didn't run. You know, you got to run. You got to. You know, it's just not going to be acceptable here. I mean, as a teammate, you're responsible for 24 other guys. And that name on the front is a lot more important than the name on the back of that jersey. And you can't do that. We're trying to accomplish something and do something special here. And personal things got to be put in the back burner. You know, you can't let your team down like that.
You didn't make the decision right away.
No, well, because I didn't want to do that to Adam Duvall. It's.
I love it. I love it. Now, the problem with this is, because they won the game and came back, a lot of people are going to love it more. But it was the right decision anyway. The Braves hit a grand slam. They won the baseball game after Acuna was pulled. So there's no argument. It worked. But even if they lost the baseball game, you need to set the tone. The Braves are fighting for the playoffs. They're not really fighting for it because guess what? No one in the NL East is going to take over them. But they are going to compete in the playoffs. And they need to know what it's going to be like when they get there. So Ronald Acuna Jr. getting pulled in game 120-something for not hustling is all about the future. It's not about what happens in that game. It's not about who steps up because of that spark plug during that moment. No. It's about learning. Because when Ronald Acuna Jr. is now in a playoff game, and it's the 6th inning, and he hits a shot like that where he thinks it's a home run, and he ends up pimping it, and he doesn't get to second base when it doesn't go out, he's going to know now he's got to work. He's got to hustle. This is all a learning experience, and it's perfect. It's perfect. This is the way it has to be done. And it pisses me off because I've seen the Phillies go the other way with this. Now, it's kind of ironic because Jean Segura has been someone who hasn't hustled 100% of the time throughout the season and has been ridiculed for that. But in our last game against the Padres, he hustled for a big-time RBI double, and he hustled down the line to break up a double play. So you could argue, well, listen, even though Gabe continued to play him, he's hustling, so he learned the message. The message to sit someone is so much more powerful. I don't know if Gabe Kapler playing Jean Segura and having his talks with these players, someone like Franco, someone like Cesar, I don't think that's the reason why these players are hustling. I believe it's Bryce Harper's leadership and the way Bryce Harper's battling and the way Bryce Harper is giving everything he has on every single play. I don't think it's because of how Gabe Kapler handled the situation by keeping them in the lineup when they didn't hustle. What I love about the Braves skipper is he knew it was wrong, and he pulled his star in the middle of a game to make a statement. It's about making a statement. If you're not going to hustle, you're not going to play. And this isn't the old school baseball in me, Because it seems like the generation has just gone soft, really, in everything. Not just sports and everything. The participation trophies, right? It's all of it. And the whole, well, you just tell him to hustle and he will do it next time. That whole thing, that's crap to me. I hate it soft. We're talking about professional sports. They should know to hustle. If they don't, shame on them. Sit your ass on the bench or get inside in the clubhouse. And it looked like the Braves skipper and Freddie Freeman had a little bit of a discussion there. And it didn't look as if it was a mutual agreement. So maybe Freddie Freeman disagreed with sitting him down. But he stood his ground, and it's all about the atmosphere he is creating. That's a huge statement to the clubhouse. This isn't the equivalent of sitting Andrew Knapp for not working hard. This is the equivalent of sitting Bryce Harper for not working hard, which you will never see, but that's how you compare it. And I love how determined he is, and I love how much respect he has for the work ethic. Speaking about Snitker here. So I look at that entire situation, and I'm in love. And I want the Phillies to work like that. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable not to work hard. It's unacceptable to pimp your shots if it's not going out. I wish the Eagles. I wish the Phillies work like that. See, the Phillies might be slowly leaving my mind because how much they piss me off, and the Eagles are starting to work its way in. I do that all the time, though. I mess up all the teams. Let's talk about Rhys Hoskins. This Rhys Hoskins stretch, it makes me cringe. Listen to this. In August, we are 19 days into August? He's hitting 105. In the second half, he's hitting 168 with 336 slugging. In the first half, he was hitting 263 with 530 slugging. He's won in his last 24. And he's hitting 148 over his last 30 games. He goes up there without a clue. Now here's his quote. Look, I feel great. Obviously it sucks to not contribute and not produce. But swing-wise, I feel great. I'm seeing the ball fine. And what else is there to say? When you're going through something like this, there's nothing else to say other than I need to get reps, I need to go up there. But what blows my mind is Bryce Harper thrives with runners in scoring position, right? Yet we're putting Rhys Hoskins first in the lineup. A guy who's not getting on base right now at all. So where's the thought process? Then you have Gene Segura, a guy who says he's so comfortable in the 2 spot, and you're batting him cleanup, and you're batting him 5th. I'm all for shaking things up when it's not having much mojo, but use some common sense when this is all happening. I don't know. Like, why are we putting Rhys Hoskins, a guy who can't get on base, in the first spot, and then Bryce Harper bats after him, and he's a guy who thrives when people are on base? If we are this analytical team, I always mention this, but if we are this analytical team, why are we not using numbers to back some things up? As you can see, I'm frustrated. Not only do I spend half of this video praising our division rival and the team leading the NL East for something they did because of their leadership from their skipper, but here I am pissed off about Rhys Hoskins not being able to get going. Now, the narrative that he stinks, he should be traded, he's horrendous, get rid of him, that's nonsense. This is a young player who is in a horrible slump in his career. But to say he's horrible and he's not a good player and we should get rid of him, that's laughable. Laughable. He's just going through probably the toughest stretch ever in his career. But is this going to play out through his entire MLB career? No. And look at his price tag. Look at his contract right now. And look at where he compares to the other first baseman in the league. overall, it's not terrible, but his slump, I don't even call it a slump because it's been so extreme, but his play in the second half has been so bad that it dipped down a little bit. But it was just so good to begin with that it dropped monstrous. Had a monstrous jump for the worse, and it's still somewhat average-ish, which is unbelievable when you think of OBP and his home runs hit. Overall, though, he's going to have to figure it out. He's going to have to figure it out to help this ball club. If we want to make some sort of noise, which, at this point, we know what we're going to get. We're going to get a nice couple games in a row. You're going to get sucked back in, and then you're going to lose. And then you're going to lose to a team that you should beat. And then you're going to win a game that you shouldn't win. You might put 2 good wins together, and then you're going to lose 3 straight. And this is what it's going to be. And we're going to be competing. We're going to be competing with the other teams doing the same damn thing until the very end. I want to know your thoughts down below on this Ronald Acuna Jr. situation and Rhys Hoskins slump. Air quotes. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.